22, discussion to enter into an agreement with Copart Auto Auction to sell the 2016 Ford Police Interceptor. 23.
Can I say about that?
Yes.
You know, like I said, I'm in the industry. I'm a shareholder of Copart, so I will not be able to vote at that point. But I think one thing that you should consider with the different auto auctions, this is actually a retired police car. I would highly recommend you use an auction outside of the region, as you would not want this car to be bought, purchased, and end up back in the community somehow, some way. The VIN number would always show that it's an ex-police car. Being in the auto auction industry, I would even utilize a company like Greater Cleveland Auto Auction just to sell this outside of the region so that you don't have any issues with it later. Because I'm sure we don't want somebody with a retired police car driving around here. So, something for you guys to consider.
Ms. Steffi?
I'm sorry. He did recommend this months ago, I think, to use Copart. At that point, he never told us he was a shareholder. I understand he's going to rescind his vote or not vote at all. But if anybody else, especially me, would have suggested something that I was a part of or as a shareholder, it would have been all over the front of the newspaper, even if I recuse myself from voting. This is insanity. Nobody else has a problem with that?
Yeah, I do.
I wasn't talking to you.
That's okay. But I would highly recommend Copart as an industry leader to sell off the retired public works vehicles and standard fleet vehicles and equipment. They do an excellent job at that. This specific vehicle right here falls outside of that normal realm, and I just think that it would...
and someone highly recommended Zacher Construction to build a pavilion, even though it wasn't me, and you still had a huge issue with it.
Well, is it possible, all right, to change this and go back to the original person or the original company that we did use? Yeah, the
Periopolis.
When we discussed it as a finance committee,
you will not get the return on the investment that you would get from a Copart, and then another company is IAA. It's Insurance Auto Auction, and Butler.
When we discussed it as a finance committee, we said we wanted to give it a shot because it was his recommendation. At that point, did you know he was a shareholder? No. So it wasn't brought up first and foremost. That's my first issue. But if you feel that this is the best way to go, I'm all on board for it. But let this, please, have light shed on it. And everyone should remember it.
And
what are you asking them to remember?
And what was the name of this place? Cleveland what? You said Cleveland something?
I'd like to get the answer from Melissa.
The fact that you were not upfront and transparent about you being a shareholder when you suggested us to use Copart months ago.
I said again, you got two different types of vehicles here. You got a retired police vehicle, and you got standard equipment that I would utilize Copart for.
So as a shareholder, whether he votes or not, as a shareholder, don't you still get some sort of kickback or something from it, I'm sure?
You're going to go this route, that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd go this route with me, buddy. Absolutely.
I think Miss Vicky, or Councilwoman Vicky Iles had something.